right. There we go. I may have fixed my camera. Oh no, I didn't. Dang it. What? Why? I have it in manual mode and have it on manual mode. And for some reason now it's not focusing. That makes absolutely no sense. Oh, dang it. It's not happy. Let's see what happens if it's on autofocus. Okay, now it's on autofocus. And I don't understand. It was great just a few seconds ago. And of course, now that I go live, why? Let's go a little further back. Yep. Thanks. And there it is. Now it's fine, but it's gonna, let's see if I can grab a brush quick and see what happens. It came on a little earlier than I should have, but I was so excited that I thought I fixed it. Now I'm not so sure. I'll be off for a bit. All right. Well, I'm going to just start putting this in. This is my pliers. I have to kind of adjust over there. And so just kind of a nice lighter value for what will be the metal. Let's see if I can't get a little bit of an edge going there to determine that. I was on the Apantasia network, which is, this needs to be dark, online, and ended up into an area where it's like, these different areas you could click on, like, how do I know if I have aphantasia? What can I do about it? Blah, 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 blah. And it brought me into an area that I don't know if it's pretty new or I just missed before, but they have this, oh, my face was in the way, wasn't it? Sorry. They have this kind of a interactive thing where you can, adjust the settings on it, just like I've been trying to do with my stupid camera. I mean, I just went over to the Rossbach, kind of help support tutorials and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, this is the problem. Anyway, but they have a thing where you can move these like online sliders to see if, what your images in your brain are like, which would be a great tool if you're teaching or need to kind of validate what one particular person, for example, what they see for images in their brain. And so like it had a saturation and exposure and then like the blurriness. And so it was pretty interesting because you would move the sliders, obviously, for some of us who have aphantasia, you're just, you're going to be going to the mode of gray, getting it over to a mode of gray. But it starts out, it's an image of a horse. And the question is something like, what is, picture this in your mind, this horse in your mind, what does your image look like? And I thought that was a really helpful tool because I'd like to have other people do it and like do screenshots or something. And maybe at the end of this video, I'll put that in the links. I have to move my chair closer if I can. So I'm kind of stretching to get to the table, and then I interrupt what's on the screen. So the pliers that I'm thinking about, I'm sure they were my dad's, and they have these black, I know I probably have some of both, but the ones I'm thinking about have these black plastic vinyl grips on them. Maybe they're rubber. I don't know, but they've lasted a long time. I think my dad was like, much like I am with art supplies. It's like you can't have enough. Well, he had a lot of tools. In fact, this is pretty interesting. In fact, I'll just show you here. So remember this painting? Okay, the hammer, right? Okay. And then I will show you. So then I found the hammer. So, okay, it's got a little black grippy on it. Mine only doesn't have a grip on it, right? Turns out I have 2 of these hammers. Plus, I have another one, same type of red handle, no grip. And what does my painting have? No grip. So, when I drew on top of the print and put that grip on there, I was actually wrong, and I was actually remembering more accurately than I thought. So, but that's okay. I just didn't know I had that many hammers. And then those are just, okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, that's 2 up here. There's probably a 3rd upstairs. I know I have at least 1 on the main floor, and in the basement, there's probably 3 more. I think I'm going to do a red background on this. So right now I'm just trying to get in some values, and values are the lights and darks of a color. And so I'm just painting this in a monochromatic using burnt umber and titanium white and a little liquid to thin it down. And I think I'm going to, and so I'm using those values to try and create the form, which is that 3-dimensional look. Which, it's hard when you're doing a tool that's kind of, it's not, it has dimension to it, but it's relatively flat. And especially when you're only looking at one side of it. I don't have the capacity to turn my object, at an angle and keep it in proportion proportion because I don't have that bandwidth in my brain, apparently. What was the other thing that I read that was interesting? I can't remember now. I did post on somewhere. I thought it was pretty interesting about how many references in film and books I'm catching on to that reference, using the mind's eye in, something that they're doing. Okay, I'm painting around the rivet right at the moment just so I can keep that separate for just a second so I don't lose. I like the placement of it. I'm just going to go in with a little darker, not really, just a slightly darker value here. And again, for the same reason, just to kind of keep it separate while I get my forms in. It's kind of a magic that happens sometimes when you're painting and you grab just the tiniest little bit of paint and you drag it along, and all of a sudden things start looking more realistic. Wish I knew why that wouldn't stay set. Okay. It's interesting, it's focused in over here a little bit. It might be this weird hand motion thing that there's a setting for. And that might be causing it. I do not know what the edge of this pliers looks like. Right along there. Yeah, there's something not right up there, that's for sure. I feel like it's a little crooked too. Yeah, it's like it's too wide in here. Maybe it comes straighter down. That's probably going to do some really wacky things on my camera, but we'll see. Just switch the setting. We'll see if it's better. I just got to remember, what does it do up here? Right there. You know, when I see it's got some little grips there, I'll have to do that with a finer brush, but all right, I think I'll mix up kind of a very light she almost went to white for the background. Again, this is really slick. I mean, it's got some tooth to it, but it's like so fine that it's like slippery. And I'm talking about the panel, the aluminum panel. It's really different to paint on. And so what happens as you lose paint on your brush, then you know the brush strokes show a lot on this. But then as you lose the paint in your brush, the bristles, and then you see these streaks of the brush strokes, which I'm okay with, but then I think it's just a matter of learning the material, getting used to how it reacts to your brush and to your paint. Does that seem to be working better? It's weird because I had it on autofocus before. So I went a little too far. I listened to on that same Apantasia network. I don't know if it's .org or .com or if it's just Apantasia. I think it's a .com, but anyway, they had sent an email. You know, they have like a newsletter kind of thing, right? And they sent this email and they talked with this expert for, oh gosh, hour and a half, close to 2 hours. They did a YouTube thing. I don't know if you can get to it, but that was pretty interesting just on some things in there. It was a lot to take in, you know. But it's some of the things I've talked about here before where they think that the imagery is there, but it just gets stretched or warped and can't come to the surface of however our brains work. Oh. I was also, I have secured a small gallery in September to show this body of work. And I'm sure I'll give a little talk about the project and why I did it. That will be in September, I think right around the 12th. Long ways away, but I got to finish everything too. And that will be at the Armory Arts and Events Center. And just as exciting and like the perfect audience is I'm going to be speaking to, come on now, focus back in here. Seriously, how come it's not focusing? I'm going to make it focus back down here. Oh, I'm so mad at that. Just as exciting is I'm going to be speaking to, oh shoot. I hope I don't cut everybody off with what I'm trying to do here. That's right, I cannot talk and do two things at once. Speaking to some art teachers and some art students, high school art students, about my grant project. So it's like the perfect audience. It's still not in focus. Why does it go out of focus on YouTube, but it's fine on the other thing? It's really not, it's not fair. Didn't even help. And my hand is in. Okay, we don't want that. There's parts of things that are in focus here, but it's just not focusing on what I wanted to focus on. I should be able to do that. Okay, just a little bit obsessed with that because it's challenging me because I can't figure out the settings and I'm mad. I'm mad. Standard motion. Zone tracking. I don't know what that means. Whoa. We went off. Well, that is not what we want. It's still not in focus. It's completely out of focus. Well, all right. Well, since nobody's here, I can still play with it. No, it looks like it's in focus, but it's not on YouTube. Huh. It's worse. All right, well, I'm just painting the background. I'll just end it here, and I'm going to try another one, just that's not out in the public.